Somebody said I was lucky. How lucky can I be that every time I smoke a joint, I jump into the other worlds? I start getting a little bit nervous and jittery, not because I'm scared to go into the other world, because I need to fall down. I need to lose myself here and go right in. I have no one to pick me up. So it's dangerous. It's almost like weird science. How lucky can I be that every time I see something, I want to know the truth about it, that I'm taking out my mind and starting to calculate the numbers, and I know where it sits in Monopoly, I know where it sits in dice, I know where it sits in craps, I know in craps' dice, I know where it sits on the cube, I know where it sits on Rubik's Cube, I know where the cross of Christ is, what the difference between Jesus and Christ. When you take a card like this and you cut it up, if you take a look at it, it's a number 5, right? A 5 or a 2. But what do you see on the other side? It's 1:11 in the afternoon. Is it? Or is it not 1:11 in the afternoon? Because on this side, all I have is one of you. Doesn't this one look like a 2 when I turn it that way? What about the one on the top? Doesn't it look like a 5? Don't we have like a 2 and a 5 or a 5 and a 5? But wait a second. Wait a second. There's a mistake here. We'll just put the cards back together. It's a 10. When you split it in half and turn it, there you go. You got your 5. Now you're looking at alpha omega, because that's what alpha omega looks like. All it is one extended line from one to the next. They stretched it out. There's so much work. You see, if I knew I had forever, that would be great. But no, not the Matrix way. My mind is faster than my hands can do. I have to stop my mind and it backs up, and then I don't remember what it was. Do you know why? Because I'm on to the next subject. So instead of going on to the next subject, I stop. But if I stop, I don't get to extend my branch in order to have another branch for another leaf, another piece of information, another bark of the tree. Out for the winter she hides. She comes back in the summer and she rises with her leaves above the sky. How shady she is, to block the heat that shall burn thy skin, but under the tree you shall breathe, for it is H2O. Do you know what 2O is? It's the 555 world and the 555 worlds coming together to make a 55 world. So it was 3 5s and 3 5s. When you came down to 2 5s, it was 8 5s, 4 and 4 total. 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. 625. If you divide it by 2, okay, let me show you what 625 does divided by 2. If I have the right number, I should have the right number. I never have enough pens. I don't like to slow down. Guys, keep up with me. All the angels in my head trying to keep up with me. So when I go 5 by 5 by 5 by 5, it's because of the 3 3 3 world and the 3 3 3 world coming together to make a 3 and 3 world. 3 and 5, 3 and 5, 3 and 5. 4 of them, 3 of them. This is a totality. This is what comes out of it. 1 here and 1 here to bring down 1 living life. Do you follow me? Do you understand? I took the caps off it. It turned into 2 wolves. Here's where we play. Somebody's watching this end, somebody's watching this end, but look who's in between. We stretched it out with 11. 7, or who is playing 11? What's on this side that would be on this side, or on this side that is on this side that would make 11 in 3 numbers? 156. 6 and 5 is 121. So now we have the 5 5 world. Now 5 by 5 by 5 by 5 is 625. Is it divided by? How come I can't get this answer? 25,625. Okay, 5125. Okay, now I'm going to try and explain this. I rushed through it a little bit. But in order to make 9/11, you have to go around Kentucky the other way to meet up in New York, because everybody else is going through go and going the right way in this world, while the crooked and evil men are going the opposite way, jumping over, go to jail, and going over to Kentucky, Indiana, and Illinois, and sitting there until they can pounce on New York, Tennessee, and states, is it, if I remember, in Monopoly? That's 9/11. New York, Kentucky is 9/11. You go around the board this way, you get 11, you get New York. You go around this way, around the board, and the other way, you get Kentucky. But corner to corner, they're 9 from or 9 away. 41 is the first time you hit the Mediterranean. You go around go and you make one connect. But you, in all actuality, have to go around go, which is 40, and make a 10 connect, because you have to go to the next corner, which would be 1040. And now looking down in my other screen here, there was a gentleman that was nice enough to send me some information about the horoscopes. And they talk in the horoscope that the midhaven or midrash of Gemini is 10-40, which is 4 corners of 10. Taurus is 4 of 59, because man is the bull, or the woman is the bull. 59 times 4 4 by 59 is 240 less 4 is 236, which equals to 172, which is one angle, one turn of 360 degrees. Now, I don't know what the exact angle. It's a delta angle. And 5 and 9 is 45. It's the 1/4 of birth of whom man is, the Taurus. Is it the Taurus or the Taurus or the rustic? Because don't forget about rust, brown, colors, and red. You have to combine them now. You know which world I come from. Everything is included in this. I'm just starting on this thing. But you know what's funny about Taurus? It's number 9, and Cancer is number 11. The 9/11 of the zodiac degree and Placido or orb, okay, puts Taurus and Cancer at 9/11. 1903, which means 3 by 19 if you want to look at it that way, which is 57, which is the number of the word moon, and the year we are in now of the Hebrew cycle 57, and HINZ, which totals a letter count of 57, and it's not the same Heinz that you spell. Although it's like it. It's another coincidence. So the other one is 459. This is 1903. Now, we already said if we take 19 and add the 4 to it, it's 23. That would be creation. And 59 plus the 3 from the 1903 in Cancer, which would be 62. So 2 and 3, okay, number 23, or 2 and 3 is 5. 5 by 62 is 310. 310 is 31 times 0. 31 times 0 times 0 equals 310, and 155 is 465. And that's the number of the Federation, 465. D-F-E, the Federation. 4 and 6 is the 10. Now, when you go 4 times 65, it equals to 260 days of a work year. Even if you work more or less in the system, now I don't want to take this, even if you work more or less in the system, okay, that's what it is. They call it 260 ton in the Mayan calendar. Now don't forget, I am still a junior student in this. This is really only 2 years that I've been making videos, almost 8 years that I've been writing, almost my whole life I've been thinking, and I'm just trying to piece the things together with you to find the truth in each number and the reason why at the point of time that it is. 0 is 15. Why? Because the minute you go to creation, it's 30. The minute you're at 0 at no points in tennis, it's 0. Between 0 and 30, the halfway using 15 is 15. 1.5 times. Because man has to be at the railroad tracks. And he's also, is the game, 1.5 is the letter J and E, saying I in Jesus. Then S-U-S in Jesus is 3821, is game of the moon. Jesus' name says it. His name says it. I'm going to let you see into me how the word Jesus says it. First of all, it has a 74 number count and letter position, what the letters are in value in the alphabet. First area. Secondly, 7 by 4 is 28 days in every month, but it stops in February. How so cool? So many days after his Valentine's Day, Jesus. It says, I suck. It says, I am and I have. Now, what does that mean to you? I am and I have. Because that's what the name says. Oh, Christ. What does it mean when you say the word, oh, Christ? O is the 15th letter. It is the passage of Christ. 15 and 77, the word of Christ, and the letter count is 92. 92, 29 days in February. When did the cards come out? And when did the bees start to live? When did they start punching holes in the cards in Las Vegas and started clipping the wings off? When was their choice in life between the time of the last 238? 238 is 76, don't forget. That's right. In 2014, it'll be 238 years of the independence. Don't forget, this is not the end. Don't mark it as the end. Mark next year as the end, because we're today, and if it should end today, then you should know today. But if you end it today, your vision is not into the future. And the presidency is for 4 years, so you have to look 6 years in advance. Just like 6 days a week of 6 of whatever you do. Because it's 2 to the left and 2 to the right of the 4 you decide of the 6 of who you are. 14 equals the middle cross of Christ on the Rubik's Cube. See this? See this Rubik's Cube. Let me show you the way Rubik's Cube works. Here's Rubik's Cube. 9, 9, 9. 27. That's all you can get on it. It's 27. You want to know about your DNA strand? You can't get the other side. It's the opposite sides. What are you going to do with all the opposite sides? 3 in, 2 out. 2 and 3. Creation. The corner of Rubik's Cube. I can go deeper and deeper into the rabbit's hole, and I want to see. Don't you know the way it works? This is on roulette, as the same as this one's on roulette. 36 and 36, the ball is 72, 5 degrees all around the world. 5 degrees down to 90 degrees. The 100% is 20 times. Starting at 0, 0. You go 90 degrees up? No. You go 90 degrees up, or do you go 100 degrees up and 100 degrees down? You go 100 up and 100 down, do you think you get 100 Celsius is 212 Fahrenheit, if I'm not mistaken? 212 of the railroad tracks. 212 of the corners. 1, 3, 7, 9. 2 in between each. This is 17 and 20, and this one is the other 17 and 20. 74, Jesus. Also, you put I into Jesus of who I am from je, the word in French, and you get the 15th letter. Je, J and E, the 10th letter and the 5th letter. It's the O letter. G-O, Omega. He is the end. Is that what it means? He is the last. He is the last of the clues. The last of the bastards, because she wasn't married to God and she had his child, so Jesus would be actually a bastard. Now what does it mean to you, a bastard? He was a bastard and had to go to John to get baptized. Where is it he's going to John? A Jew going to John to get baptized? What's going on here? Was John a Jew? John, take the finger around those snips. I remember they were singing that as the kids. This is a cheers that he should be better and better and better and better and better, because we shall dissolve this energy, and he shall be well. For Jacob, of the 101 years and the 12 years of who he is today, my vision is he comes back into life again, and he comes to stay even powerful, more powerful and superior than he was before. And he's only 12 years old. 101, 113 years old, 11:3. KC, the winds are coming in from the dome. We shall see the end in the next 3 months. You shall see it carry over into next summer. But into next summer, we'll be back in 1939. Again. Because the number is in. They ended in 1998, September. We're in the year 15, the year of the egg. It's the passage for the galactic centers to take over their own domains. They've learned and doubled up from everybody else. That's why everything is in 2s and 3s and more in this world. They had to do it the same because they had to follow the stars. The stars we don't get to see except on ice. That's why they showed us so many stars. Sometimes we just forgot about the stars. We heard enough. And then they ran away from the Minnesota North Stars, not to remind us of the North Star, the truth of the North Star. The Vikings. What is a Babylon? To talk on and on, to babble and Babylon, to buy, the bee baby, the Dubais of the life. The baby lions. A baby cub is a Babylon. I don't know what Babylon means. I just know it's Baba. Bad, 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 the way it says in letters. It can't be bad, okay? It repeats its own letter. If it repeats its own letter, that means it will kill itself. But it is mother, and she won't do that because it's father in the mother's house having to become a mother unnoticed. Inside the light of all man. What don't you understand about the baseball? Can you see this design if I put it on the baseball? If I wrap the baseball over, this is basically what it is. She goes this way through the tunnel and this way through the tunnel. Doesn't it look like the propeller on the Titanic? 1973. 13, 13, 13, 13, 13. You get it? We turn it around, it's always 13. Where the 7 and 9 are is somewhere else. It's when we're 1, 3, they're 7, 9. 7 times 9, 63 of the creation. 7 and 9 is 16, is the 1 and 6 on the dice. It's the letter P. It's got you cornered right on New York. We're visiting jail, so we know we're just before it. So we're on Connecticut, so there's no worry. There's also no worry when you're on Marvin Gardens because you can't throw 1 on the dice and end up in jail. Unless that's your next step, and that's the only dice you get to roll in this world is the 1 spirit. And the only way to get over is to use your head. And you'll always be hopping over jail in this world when you use your head. All because of the 80, the French people. They use multiple languages and mix things up. And you have to reread and put it into your own language. And that's how you can categorize it, the French inside the English world. 80 is a cat. It's 4 cats. It's the forecast. What they vision of the 20 of the 80. 20 of 80 is 160. 160 as far as they can go before they hit 180. They must leave a space for 2020 world for us to go around in one triangle, just going around and around, except they pulled down the triangle and they extended it into a diamond that's on this angle. Oh, I'm gonna have a cigarette. You want to come into my world? Is that what you want? Do you think it's easy to be in here? Or you have to be alone, because if you hear some of these vibrations, it's not good, but it's good as long as they don't make you stop and go. because you have the flow and you have the know, so you continue going, and when somebody stops you, it's very hard. Only because you don't know what you've lost. So then you learn to be stronger. And whatever hasn't come in, you forget that it was even there to come in. You only take what the tree can give you at the time you can, and you let it grow. You got to be a little out of your head sometimes, you know what I'm saying? You think anybody else would drink this? Would you drink it? How about your girlfriend? Would she drink it? Would you put it on your pancakes if you want? 100% pure maple syrup. Am I on a special diet? No, just my head. Just my head's on a special diet. I look at something, before I even go shopping, I say, Ronnie, you already know what you bought. Don't look at anything else. Don't touch anything else. Don't start thinking. You can't start another branch, because if you start another branch, don't worry about it. I've already cornered most of the numbers, so all I'll end up is putting it in the category I already have. So then it gets a little bit easier. But you still want to be able to get in it. You want to draw that energy and need that help to get to sleep, the Michael Jackson effect, where he couldn't think because he was too intelligent, but he didn't know what it was. He didn't figure it out. They poisoned me. They're going to probably say, ah, he's crazy, he's schizophrenic, he's nuts. No, but they poisoned me. How do I know? Was it my own judgment? When you come out of a hospital with bipolar, and the doctors let you go on 400 Seroquel and 200 lithium, and you get into the next hospital just for a check, and your friend shows up with money, and you're really pissed at this guy, and you smoked a joint before you got in, so you didn't give 2 fucks. So I jumped. So they tied me down and kept me there and brought me up until all of a sudden I was in depression. I had to have 2 friends come in and tell him, hey, give this guy something to get him out of this. He's nervous as shit. So they gave me a couple of Ativans. After that, they took him away and just pumped into Seroquel until I started seeing dead fish in the bottom of my bed in the middle of the night, knowing that it's only a dream. But I didn't know why until now. It could be many things. It could be the new minnows in the lake that they are putting to poison us. But I don't care about that because that's too late. It could be in newer lakes, pumping in stations from the poodle of the Great Lakes, running down and through the Niagara, but pumping up from the Colorado River, pumping from dam to dam to dam to dam, mixing up the waters. When I saw the fish, and I saw it a second night and the third night in a row, and then all of a sudden they came back a couple of weeks ago, I noticed that the only way for the fish to be there is for the water to fall. But it's not falling by Niagara because they would go over. They're falling from a dam that they're going to rock and pull over. Pull over our eyes because we're going to be probably looking at it as it happens. And it might wash out the road that we're on. Because it takes 40 minutes in traffic to get across the bridge. Because usually everybody is running up to Las Vegas for the weekend. And it's the weekend, this weekend, it's the weekend after Halloween. And the ABCD comes out, AC/DC, electrocute the dam. Time is up. 43 children are on the line. 101. 101 is the age of Jacob in the shul, of the only shul of the Middle East. Because east is east from every direction, because west only starts with the W. Take the W away in French, it says east. And east is S-E-T, it is a setup. And EST is also TES for a test. Seven years ago when this began, It was the return of the SIG test. It was the return of the Sith. Have you ever seen what it looks like to have the return of part of the Sith? I will mark it for you. S I I'm still doing it. S-I-R-E-L on the angle with the 1, Israel. 1, 5 is 6, 7, and 5 is 12, 13, 14, 15, 22, bust. Now put Israel the other way. "51 time heaven." Israel's backwards. 51 Sith, time heaven, the TH of Earth, area 51. It's area 51, but is it ground zero? No. Ground zero is a point of explanation, expression, and then it sends it into 1, 0 and 1, and then 1 takes care of it. First the message comes in, and then the message goes out. Return of the Sith was from Star Wars. Anyways, let me get back to it. So this is 0. What do you think the value is? We cannot have a whole if we don't get a passage of something or a wholeness of something to hold up the sides. If there's something holding up the sides, the value is more on the outside. The inside and then the outside value. But we're talking about each point. There's got to be something that holds this up. Unless it's the water, the flow, the energy that forces it up. Something gets into here and comes into this world. If it was an angel, she'd have 2 wings. This, look, the way it crosses Christ on an angle. Somebody holding it on their back. The other way, 1379, the opposite way on a roulette, they put the number this way, but that's east-west light. I will show you this way. The 2 and the 8 and the 4 and the 6 offline because man is living online on the earth. They expand the sides of the rectangle and they make the world look more like a football. I'm going to just draw that up for a second. And then they just draw up the earth the way it is. They put it in here and we're more like a football like this. And this is who we are. These are the islands that they will break up. This is a galactic setup. Can you believe that somebody else created this and they have dinosaur bones? What do you think? This building was burnt yesterday. This is a birdhouse, my friends. Take a look. Take a look over the last 200 years and the moons. How many more moons have the scientists found? What happened on the Earth during that time while a new moon came out? Was there a new president? Was there a wall taken down? Did they buy, like Mexico was bought? Now the guy's there having a good time with his telephone company, taking care of the communications. Do you think Jupiter should have the same amount of moons today that it had a while ago? No, this is a game. When you start the game, you have no chess pieces on the side, but every time you win one, you put it on the side. Somebody gets a new moon. Do you want to know if I drink alcohol? I have not really drinking anything this year. In fact, I haven't drinking anything probably in the last 7 years, except for my parents' anniversary, 50 years. I don't do any drugs. Am I out of my head? You know what? Thank God. What are we going to do next? I'm going to go back to that horoscope and just give you a briefing, okay, of what I see in it. Okay, they have the sun right now, planets in the houses. Now, what does that mean? Planetary position houses express the facts relative to destiny. Planets in the houses. The moon is 6, Mercury is 9, Venus is 11, 9, 11. Venus right next to Mercury, number 2 and number 4. They talk to each other, but they go around something in order to get through the 10 house. Mars is midhaven. Sun is midhaven. Of course. 1, 2, 3 Mars. 1, 2, 3 Uranus. Then there's 1, 2, 3 Pluto, Lincoln, and Lilith. Ascension node in midhaven. Mars and the Sun. Ascension mode in midhaven means that between the Sun and Mars, which is Moon, Mercury, and Venus, they're coming together. If they are coming together, Mercury separates it. Mercury is number 9. Venus is number 11 because God, 9, 11, 10, 9, 10, 11 equals 30, the Creator, is all being defined and coming through Mercury. Now what we go is when it says ACS node in midhaven, what that means is further on after the in-between of midhaven in the planets in the houses. Are you following me? Midhaven, ascension node in midhaven. Okay? This may not be ascension. This can be angel spirit creation, which it is because 9, 10, 11 is it. Pious. Remember the king of Pious? Understand what it means to Pious. Now we go to Jupiter 3, 1, 1, and 1. Saturn 2, 2 and 3 of creation. 3 of Uranus because we have to counter it. And then Neptune of 4. Neptune runs with Mars, which is in midhaven. So now they're replacing it with Neptune. Neptune might be our skies. Pluto is number 2. Uranus and Pluto, 7th and 9th planet. 7 by 9 is 63. 3 by 6, 666. 18, creation of R, angel resident. Lilith is so incredible. She is the passage between the truth. You go on this side, she's 4. You go on this side, she's 6. You go in between, she's 5. She's in between, she knows the 2, each on her side. In all actuality, in both worlds, it can just say 66 or 44, Barack Obama. The Ascension node, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 planets in the Ascension, all versus Mercury. 1. 1, 2, 3, Uranus, Lilith. 1, 2, 3, Neptune. Uranus and Neptune. 4 and 3. The 4 and 3. That is the 7th and 8th planet, which is the moons, okay, coming together, the 7th and 8th moon coming together. And this is number 4 and 3, 1, 1, and 1. We have 4 in all worlds, which is the delta, which is the 4 angle. We have the 4 angle in all the worlds now. So this one, okay, and this one, okay, work together as 5 and 7, as the energy. You can find this as Uranus would be on the left side of the roulette to start with on number 7. It would be 7 red energy. And Jupiter, where it's directly connected from your telephone dead center, is 1 line away and right through. The only way it can go through the reason it can go through, okay, I'm going to show you the 5. Okay, now I have to show you the box because the matrix makes the box, you just don't see it. Now 5 is here and 7 is there. It looks like an 8, right? Now this is what happens. They connect together. Okay, now each one gets its own box. Okay, so I'm going to finish it off. And just want to show you that when they get their own box, if you take a look, it's a 2 arrows, one on each side. Not only that, if you take a look, it's 2 mirror pyramids, look like they're atop each other at the same time. What's going to be in between here and in between here will be the Roman numeral sticks of 1, 1, and 1, 1. Total of 4, 6. 1 on the left, 3 on the right. So we get this. The other thing that we get, if you take a look, I cut the square in half to a triangle, and a triangle, and a triangle, and a triangle. So now I have the truth of 5 and 7 because that's the triangle energy, the pyramid power, putting the 2 points together. So now we have those 2 numbers. At the same time, we can really turn it into a duck or something. I don't know. Let's see what we can turn it into. This and this. So we got this and this. We got this and this. We have I mean, it's a little duck, no? Or woodpecker. Your 2 balls and a dick. You can do anything, man. Letters, shapes, whatever it is. Put them on top of each other. We don't know what we're going to get. Anyways, the zodiac degrees of 0. The sun, they give 1124. Which sun? 7 and 4 is 11 because it comes within the, 6 and 5 can be 11. Okay? And if it is that 11, then it's the 11 and 13 man that make the 24 hours a day. 1124 or 1 and 1 of 24 hours or x 24 or k x. Or if you really want, 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 4 is 6. Then when you get to the moon, it's 2, 6 right away. We came from the sun 2, 6 into the moon 2, 6. If we would have went backwards, we would have 6, 22, 6. So the moon says 26. Why can it be 26, 12? It would be 2 dice, or 3 moons of 4 corners making 12, because of the Rubik's Cube that I showed you. That's it. They show 3 parts of this moon, 7, 7, and 7, and then the new moon comes in. 26, B and F. 26 and 12 is 38. Ah, now I get it. This total of 38 is S and S, 19 and 19. 38. And 19 and 19, 38. And 19 and 19, 38. 114. 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days of pig's pregnancy. 3, 3, 3. 28 and 28 is 56. And 28 of the third moon is 84. 7 12s. 2 dice 7 times. 6 world in 1. Now they just might mean nothing to you, all of this, because I'm really just throwing around numbers. So, I mean, what more can I tell you that I keep reversing? I can go onto the Monopoly board now if you want, and look up number 24, which I think is Illinois, and number 11, which is, I don't remember, North Carolina or something. I don't have my board on this computer, I don't remember. When you go to Mercury, Taurus, M and T, the M is the 13th letter, the T is the 20th, the total is 33 of Christ, and right away you show 18, okay? 18 is Raish, 666. It's also JH, the game heaven, JH, because the 10th letter and the 8th letter. And then 47 is time, T-I-M-E equals 47. 47, 74 is 121. 11, 11, May 1st, April 30th this year. Venus shows 2608. Wow. 8 is the heaven of man of Venus. Mars is 1140. Mars is showing spirit angel of man, or the opposition of 6 and 5 that come together to make 11 to think in the game of 40. 6 and 5 are next to each other. 6 and 5. 6 and 5 are next to each other. 6, 5, and 1. And what do you have over? What left over? 3, 2, 4. Let me write this down. I must have wrote it 100 times already. Give me a pen somewhere. Fuck, I got 100 pens and I can't find one. So now we have 5, 6, and 5, 1. And the other way I have 2, 3, and 2, 4. Okay. This is the numbers I have on the dice. Do you see any difference? The only difference is now we have to count the stitching and all the poking holes that are in here. How they stitched it. You notice it's all in red with cowhide. Does our hair keep growing or it stops growing once the vibration stops from this world? You know the vibration to keep changing your mind? So the hair grows, the nails grow. It's funny the way the nails seem to be made out of plastic, eh? Where am I gone next? There's so many things. 4 by 4 by 4 by 4 by 4 by 4 is 512 memory. ABF. A fab. A bath. A fullness. The totals of all the 4s give our memory of 4096. 40 is the game and 96 is us. 96 is 24 times 4. Now I can also tell you about that, but I'm really not locking into anything. All I know is this is what I have to say. They just put in the paper that this group found that one part of the government was in fault for $43 trillion. Listen to my words. Listen to my words. 43 children dollars. 43 trillion dollars. 43 children dollars. Dolls. 43 trillion dolls. Maybe the trillion doesn't really exist. You know why? They just keep passing it around. They don't need it. The only amount of money we probably need in this whole entire world is whatever gets us through the month. That's it. The rest is on plastic. So do you really think we need anything because we owe everything? 43 trillion is a move. It's a 101 move on the dice cube. Somebody made a note. Anytime something happens, they made it that somebody should find out about this. They put somebody in there on the other side saying, tell them this, tell them this, tell them that, tell them this. Tell us, tell us. Kudo, Fido, Bell, B and L, B11. B11 is 18, Bell. B11, B and E, breaking an entry right into everybody's phone line. How do you think, really and truthfully, that Bell is able to give away their service? You don't think they connect underneath the ground direct to the Bell lines? That means if they're putting in service, they can be sucking it out at the same time at the other end of the phone call. Jupiter in Sagittarius, 5.21. ABF, I just told you, ABF. Father, mother, and the center right. Saturn and Libra are 28 the moon, 24 the day. Wait a second, 28 from the left to right piano. 24 from the left right piano. And 28 from right to left piano. The 28 goes right on center C. The 24th stops one short. It's a B. It's B and C. Beta creation. Saturn and Libra. So they make it out of Libra. Uranus in Sagittarius is 655, which is creation of the Christ. Sagittarius. What month is that? Neptune Sagittarius is the moon, the man on the moon. Our minds being manipulated. Libra and Pluto. Libra and Pluto. Oh, now that's good. Oh my God, 27.03 right ascension. That is 3 by 3 by 3 is 27 of the creation world. That's exactly who we are. The librarians. So what ship is coming for us? We're coming in for a conscious change of the librarian, Libra, a shortened word. Lilith and Aquarius is the heavens of 3 and 5. The 3 creation of the 5 avatar, who walks around as 6 man but is placed as 7 when he makes a decision. Ascension node in Gemini, 2501. Why? Because 25 is 1/4 of 100. It is 1025 is what they're actually talking about. 1025, if you really look at it, it's 10 and 25 is 35, and you are on short line railway. 26 would put you on number 26 or B&O. Aquarius and Gemini, the angle of 90 degrees. 9 and 7 is 16, the one spirit of 6. Leo, Cancer. So this is the first time I really looked at this. So there's a lot of things to look at, because when there's a decimal point, it means of 11, it is 24 of 100. Because 0.24, it always means 100. 100, 100, 100, 100. So 26.12 in the moon Aquarius is 26, 12, or 26, 120. And every time there's a 0, you got to multiply it by 1.5 all the time. Blackjack rules. I created a game. That's all. I just created a game. I created a game, and I include everything. If it's a letter, I'll take it apart and see how it was built. I have to use the square paper. Without the square paper, I'm nothing. I'm absolutely nothing without that square paper. I wouldn't be able to do anything right. I'd be having a tape measure and a ruler. I like to know when the square paper first came out. Who was the first one to use the square paper? Another thing I want to show you in this is, even though I made this mark here, right? You see these lines over here? Let me show you something. See the marking that breaks it off? And the line over here, the blue line, it makes that triangle. Okay, you don't see it, but it's on the paper. The minute you get the straight line, you've started to draw, and either if you're drawing, or the next group is looking at it, and the next group is looking at it, and then they're putting it together. That line is ABC, or in the real world, that line is the crossing of 357 on your telephone. Or if you want to take what it looks like, 357, what they do on TV, 357 where it is in Monopoly, 357 what it does in roulette, because in roulette there's 4 3s, 4 5s, and 4 7s. Just a different coordinate number. Like a 3 is the same thing as a 12. Is the same thing as a 21. Is the same thing as almost a 30. But the 30 is a 45. 30 times 1.5 is 45. That's the angle of the fox. 1, 2, 3 equals 6. 6 letter is the F. Remember the F. 4, 5, and 6. The second row of your telephone is 15. Remember the O. But remember, 15 is a 1 and a 5 is 6. 7, 8, and 9 equals 24. And the 24th letter is X. You have fox. 2 and 4 is 6. You have fox 666 or fox 18. But the adding up of 1, 2, 3 is 6, 4, 5, 6 is 15, and 7, 8, 9 is 24, totals 45. The angle of the fox and the next president, 1/8 of the circle around. Maybe the sun is real. Maybe we are going around the sun. But according to what I saw in one of the pictures online, now don't forget, I only work with what I see, because what I see is the truth. Otherwise, you won't believe me if I made it all up. I saw the core of the Earth. The way they designed it and the colors they chose only says that they removed what was around the core. Now it's magnetically stagnant in its place, and we're going around the sun inside another world. And everybody would just come up to me, wow, that's stupid, that's just the universe. And I go, listen, this is a book of nothing, where everything is allowed. I saw the movie Shrek. I saw the girl in Alice in Wonderland get smaller. I saw the Matrix man go inside another body when the woman predicted he would drop the vase. I saw him taking one of the two pills and ending up in another world. How come I can't have an extended thought pattern as like all these people who wrote the movies? Because I show up online for free, like I'm trying to take something out of your pocket? Like I'm trying to divert your atheist thinking? First, I can tell you all atheists are 100% wrong. For the only reason the word in not believing in a God, okay, says I don't believe in the higher self. You are the higher self. The minute you make that decision, your fingertips in action, your mouth and verbally, you are the God. You have to do the best of all you can do because you know what the rights are. The Ten Commandments are simple. They're made for everybody alike, God or no God. There were words put into this world by people before us. Forget about a God made it. Just because a God made it, you won't follow the Ten Commandments. It's nothing to do with God. Because you intercepted as God, you no longer want to follow the truth of perception. That's got to be retarded. You are the God. The ends of your fingertips, the choice of your mind makes your next move as you put your foot on the pedal. You forgot to put on the flasher, so the policeman pulled you over to remind you of the bylaws. Keep it safe for the others. That's in the Ten Commandments. Think of the others, because then you'll know what they're doing around you. You'll be thinking of yourself. Think only of yourself and forget who is around you. And everybody around you will discomfort you of your own decision. You can go up 1 ear, 2 ears in my head. We're not going down to my dick to talk now. You understand what I'm saying? The transformation or transformer in us, it goes from here to here. Here is the peace sign, goes down to our dick and just spreads out. Now we only know this. The movement of the hips, the deception of life. Because that's the part of life we need to keep creating life forever. So we have to use it sanely. And there's a reason for that. Because when you're doinked in the head by their energy and you're having blissful sex that you couldn't care less about, the system matrix knows. They doubled you up before anything happened. The only thing is, there's a chance you're on your own now because your double might not be alive anymore. They played too much with his cells and he broke away, so somewhere in your life you started to feel alone. Like I did 7 years ago. But I revived my inner self to live with the rest of my life up in the heavens as I live my life here on the earth. And I seek out from whatever the numbers give me. 212 is 215, 212 is 215, but 20 is halfway, and 15 is the year we are in. We are all being fooled by the Gregorian calendar. This is the year 2015. Jesus was born 303 and died at the age of creation. It's impossible that he died at the age of 33, because that is the Christ command and create. He died that only in your mind, but really he was 36, because he had to become the 666 put up on the cross. Because what was crossing? His arms. His fingertips of 5, his choice of movement is 6. His other hand is his choice of movement. Not only that, when you look at the cards, 3 and 3 is 6, 666, the way it goes. This is just your life. I'm not going to start building your body on here, but this, believe you me, that's why they doubled the cards. 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, 4. 1 point, 2 point, 3 points, 4. 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, 4. 4, 8, 12. Times 3 is 36. Times 3 is 108. Plus the 3 card, 111. That was the top of the Twin Towers. Only what I said. I've done other research. Don't you worry. 337s. You want to see 337s? 337s. This is 337s. How does this make 337s? You go down here. You go down the floors if you want. The center here is 37, 17 and 20. Then it's 14 and 23. Then it's 11 and it's 26. Then it's 8 and 31. And that's the end of the baseball. The 5 is in the center. Numbers also are exchanged. These numbers, where I got them from, I'll show you for a second, and we're going to end. These are the roulette numbers. These numbers are SBR, BRB, RBR, BR bar, BRB, RBR, repeat it again, RBR, BRB, oh, BRB, BRB, black, red, black. These are the rows of the combinations of the roulette wheel. Do I cheat? No. Is this all my work? Yes. But the internet was God's gift to come down here and give us the biggest apple of all. Since the apple has been deceitful, the apple has come back to be Microsoft. And now we take it in with stride and we pick up the information that we can, we divide it up, we see the truth within. Do not forget 3 out of 4 dentists. So that's automatically 3 out of 4 are wrong. Only 1 is going to be right. And that's the totality of the information that will bring it to its righteousness. And then the totality that brought it to its wrongness. And we shall see the center and balance from there. Always return to the center. Classify your information from within. And stretch out when it's time to do a new research. Where am I intercepted with this? Hoover Dam, 88. Year of inception, if I remember, 77 years ago, the number of Christ, 77 years ago, and about 5 weeks. You know what that means, eh? They're on the other side of Rubik's Cube. They're allowed to destroy something so they can build it back. That's what the Christ does in Rubik's Cube. The minute you get to the other side, you have to flip it over again, because everything's got to be on the up and up. The antenna reached to 140 floors, if I am correct. 1 game of Monopoly, 2020. 37 by 3 is 111, the roof. 29 more floors for the antenna. Number 29, the berth. It reached out on 45 miles, equaling to 45 degrees all the way around. Able to suck up the information that came from below. The secondary group that they are in the game with knew they had made a mistake, and they were obligated in the game of chess to take one of their players down because of what they did. They cheated and were caught by another group. Don't forget, like I said, there are 3 groups in here. One of them we know is God, the Vikings. The other 3, one we can trust. That's us and who we associate. And the other 2 are looking to win the galactic piece of the game of chess. Where is the best chess in this world? And who's playing it now? Raphael, 7286. In the constellation of Pegasus, I'll show you a little bit around a little bit. Hold on. I always have to just add a little in. First of all, this. Hold on a second. This. See these shapes here? These are magnetic shapes, so we can do welding work on steel. So we put this in for angles. Okay, see all the centers with holes in it? Then there's my